I've received a lot of feedback about cultivating the magical personality using your astrological moon sign. And that's vital. You need to cultivate and understand what your moon sign is all about and how you relate to it and how you can bring that to the surface. A lot of people have asked me, so the sun sign doesn't mean anything? No. The sun sign, your astrological sun sign, is unbelievably important. In some cases more important than your magical personality, because your personality, what you wear every day, is a giant banner to everyone else about what you are, who you are, and what you stand for. If you look at the tarot card of the sun, if you look at the Rider-Waite tarot card, you have a young child who is the child of promise. I'll do a video about the whole symbology of the tarot sun card, but he is carrying a giant banner, okay? It's a giant flag with a spear tip. So this really correlates the power of Mars to defend your personality and defend who you are. The banner is the example to show and wave to everyone what you're about. So your sun sign, who you are as a person in your everyday life, is absolutely vital. It's vital that you become an authentic person. We live in a society that, as Ivan Illich in his book Deschooling Society, which if you haven't read, run to find that book and read it. He talks about how the world has now created not only artifact things, but artifact people. And we know, we've talked about what corporations are. They're essentially, a corporate fiction is a giant egregore that exists only in the astral realm. So basically, what people have become are not authentic of themselves, but they are representations. They're living billboards of corporate fictions. That is further to take you away from who you really are. Because if you're able to sell yourself to a corporate fiction, then whatever holds you to your humanity is just washed away, stripped away. It was as if you never had it. It's vital that you become fully aware of your sun sign and how you express and what you express. And once you realize what you express, then you can say, you know, do I want to be a champion for this cause? And if it's yes, continue. If not, then get rid of it. I wish I had a pagan church, because I could quote pagan stories like it was scripture. But I'm going to use the image of Hercules wearing the skin of the Nemean lion. The Nemean lion was a beast that no edged weapon could pierce. That meant that you had to get close and personal. That meant that you had to get in there and wrestle it or beat it with a club. And he was able to finally do this. And he wears the skin of the Nemean lion. The Nemean lion is the mighty personality of Leo. That's the sun. The sun relates to your everyday personality. Hercules went in, wrestled his personality into submission, and now wears it. He wears it on his head, and it drapes down the rest of his body, because the personality is the head. Your sun resides in your heart and in your head. Actually, there's three, but we'll get into that later. But the majority of all your personality comes from how you think, your actions, what you speak. And you shine like the sun from your head. He wears it on his head. People who are artificial, people who are artifact, have major issues dealing with people who are authentic. They don't like it. They hate it, because they sense this part of you that they sold away years and years and years ago. And they're afraid. They're afraid of you, so they lash out hostilely. If you're wearing the armor, the hide of the Nemean lion, their sharp tongues, their cutting words don't hurt you, because the armor, the hide of the lion, cannot be cut, like the Nemean lion couldn't be cut. If you were to see a man walking down the street and he had a lion headdress and its hide, or more Germanic or even Native American wise, a bear, then, and you realize that not only did this person wrestle this mighty beast, but also was able to kill it with his bare hands, skin it, and now wears it because it's his, he owns it, most people are going to be very, very timid and very afraid of this person because they can't find any part within their artificial self that they would ever be able to do this. They don't have the heart, they don't have the courage. It's an interesting thing. This is why this ties in so well. The sun, astrologically, in a planetary sphere, relates to both the head and the heart. Leo is responsible for the heart, but also the nimbus, the light around the head, in older astrological manuscripts that I have. This is why it's both, a lion's heart and a lion's head go hand in hand. It's what's in your head and what's in your heart. That is your sun sign. Hercules wears the mighty sun sign of Leo himself. Let's really think about that for a second. The mightiest astrological power out there, and Hercules wears it. He wears it as his armor. That's pretty fucking impressive, guys. So think about it that way, okay? I'm gonna illustrate this point even further. And I don't mean it to be elitist, because talking about the sun is talking about you. And there is an example that you set. And so it borderlines between being an example and being an egomaniac. It's a fine line, but you gotta understand that it's one that you need to be careful not to blur. And so in my stories that I use, I'm very careful not to blur it. So someone asked me to go to a gym yesterday on Samhain or Halloween in the morning, and I hate gyms because I know what it's about. I know that it's a place to sell an image that is not necessarily true, that's corporate, and make you feel that it's real, and sell yourself to try to accomplish something that truly isn't you. Okay? It's all corporate illusion. But people spend their lives there, their fears there, they develop their fears there, and they spend lots and lots and lots of money. And you sign a contract stating that you can use their gym, and you can, but they know and they bet on the fact that you won't. Interesting. So they make money off you as you go there to feel better about yourself, and you actually go there and you feel worse about yourself, and then you're locked into a 12-month contract. Do you see the magic behind that? The dark magic behind that? It's a corporate thing. It's all corporate. So I go there. I give them my one-day free pass. I tell the salesman I'm not interested and to back away from me. I am going to go throw some heavy iron. He doesn't really seem to understand what that means, which is weird because he's a salesman at a gym. And I take this friend of mine upstairs to, a pretty decent training facility. And out in front of us spills a gigantic ocean of a bunch of dudes in affliction, in tap out, oh god, in skin, in death throne, and every death clutch, and every sort of I'm a gladiator but nowhere near a pit clothing line, okay? It's fucking funny to me, but oh well, because I love the sport of combat sports, but there's an underlining current of violence that I don't agree with. And MMA looks much like the world of boxing these days, with throne matches and backroom deals, whatever. So I walk right past it. I'm in sweat shorts and a ripped up gray t-shirt with nothing on it, because I'm not going to express a corporate logo. I walk right past all the machines. I walk past a bunch of the dudes who do some little 35-pound curls and then do some flexing in the mirror. Everyone's puffed up and ready to fight. I walk past the guy who's, pressing 40 pounds over his head, screaming and yelling like he's a barbarian because, the Norse were known for their mighty 40-pound press. There are stones that you had to lift to be a warrior, and they were in the hundreds of pounds, okay? Hundreds of pounds for you to say that you were a warrior. I walk over to the big dumbbells. Now, these are the dumbbells that I've got to blow the dust off of to see, is it the 120, the 125, or the 130? I'm a man who has trained himself in his backyard, in a basement gym, in an alleyway at midnight because I had to work till midnight, and then I could only get an hour of training in between midnight and 1 a.m. I'm a guy who's trained himself in the old school ways, when strength was the most important thing, and I didn't sacrifice anything to get it. I walked to the 130-pound dumbbell. Now, this isn't elitism. This isn't look what I can do, you can't. This is not what this is, so stop it. What this is simplicity and sanity restored. I pick up the 130-pound dumbbell, I set it down. I'm going to do some one-hand snatching. Okay, I'm going to do one-hand snatches and one-hand pressing. Okay? I begin my program with my right arm. And for those of you who want, especially guys, if you want superhuman strength, follow this instruction. You get a heavy weight. Learn, YouTube it, what a one-hand snatch is with a dumbbell. Okay? With my right hand, one-hand snatch over my head, brought to my shoulder, grind out a one-arm press, I put it down in front of me. Switch to my left hand one-hand snatch. Above my head, bring it down to my shoulder, grind out a one-hand press, set it down, go to my right hand. I'm alternating hands, okay? I go to work. I'm not there to puff up and look around and try to look like I can maybe fight you, okay? No one in that place intimidated me. No one in that place even brought to my attention the possibility that I might be in any way threatened. What happened was very simple. My personality of shut the fuck up, let's work, let's get stronger, go heavy or go the fuck home, radiated throughout that place. My friend stopped me. All right, I'm working for 50 reps on each arm. Okay, I don't care if it takes me 2.5 fucking hours, I'm going to do it. My friend stops me and he says, Bearheart, look. Everybody was stopped and just watching me. All right? The corporate entity had left the room. The sun's light, the light of the sun banishes the phantoms. Okay? My personality banished the phantom of corporateness, of artificialness, and suddenly what looked like a bunch of puffed up, I'm going to kick your ass kind of guys were now, whoa, how the hell are you doing this? Because their corporate gods, their corporate MMA worlds has sold them to the idea that unless you're on steroids, unless you're on HGH, unless you're on $3,000 worth of creatine, unless you buy their special vitamins, unless you drink the official sponsor of bullshit Gladiator Arena drink or whatever, you can't do this. Unless Monsanto owns the patent on your pharmacologically manipulated physicality, okay? Unless some dark-hearted Nazi scientist has injected you with a special chemical, all right? Unless you're one of these factory-farmed, giant, chemically induced dogs, that you can't lift what I'm lifting. I'm a wolf, motherfuckers. I've never been to the factory farm. I live in the wild, all right? I chase down and hunt and kill what I eat, all right? It's not put in front of me full of chemicals to get me big and strong. No, I'm big and strong because of what I do. Oh! Makes me mad. I'll be right back.